Today I'm hiking up to see the waterfalls and taking advantage of the last few days of fall before it gets too cold. And I'm bringing with me the Submariner 16610, one of my all-time favorites, purchased new in 2005. I can take it anywhere, it does its job, it stays out of the way, and it looks great while doing it. It was cold outside in the mid 30s, and it even started to have a small flurry of snow later on. So, being this cold, it was difficult to get started. But after I got started walking, I started to warm up and started to feel better. It's about 2 miles to the first waterfall. It's flat in the beginning, but then starts to get steeper and rockier. The stream starts out quiet in the beginning, but then gets louder towards the waterfall. But there's something soothing and calming about the sound of running water in the stream. This Submariner has that vintage looking dial design, but it won't patina or turn warm because it has the Super Luminova. But it is still very legible to read. And that bezel is made of aluminum, so it has that old school character to it. But the turning action is nowhere near as good as the current version. So this version will start to seize up and be tighter to turn as it gets older. But the best part of the pre-ceramic Submariner is the classic case design. It's streamlined and has a lower profile, and it has a better fit on my smaller wrist. But the downside is the bracelet, which has the hollow center links and does not feel as solid as the current bracelet. I changed up my video workflow on this video. The walking shots are on my iPhone 14, and that's because the action mode is very steady. I wouldn't be able to get this smooth of a shot walking on my other cameras. But you can tell that the footage on the walking shots is made from a phone. The image is overly sharp, and I tried to soften up some of that image with editing. The rest of the shots are on the Leica SL2S. I usually shoot in a natural color profile, but on this video I changed to the L-Log profile and then tried to color correct in post. Shooting in log is supposed to preserve the higher dynamic range and retain more detail. The image right out of the camera is very flat. I'll try to show an example of that. And then I tried to color correct it in post. But I wasn't able to adjust the exposure or get the colors proper in Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro either doesn't have the features to get it right, or I just don't know how to access them. So I tried using DaVinci Resolve. I never made a previous video with it before, so this was my first try. I spent a long time playing with it and trying to learn it, and I finally watched 2 YouTube videos, tutorials on it. So this is my first attempt, and it's not perfect. I still have a lot to learn about DaVinci Resolve. It seemed to have more features and more power than Final Cut Pro, and it's free. It does have a paid version, but the free version has almost everything I need to use. I tried to find just the right place to submerge the Submariner in the stream. I wanted a place that was deep enough, but still shallow enough that I could see the watch. And I think this was a good place to put it. The Submariner is heavy enough to stay on the rock and not fall into the water. I'm on my way back now. There's two ways to get to the waterfall. One is labeled the easier way, which I took on the way getting there. And on the way back, I took a more difficult route. This part turns into a very narrow ledge, which overlooks the stream. It has a good view, but I think this would be an easy place for someone to slip and fall into the water. And I think this was my favorite shot of the video. It's almost like a mini cavern or a mini cave, and it looks like it's raining and it sounds like it's raining, but it's actually just water dripping over the rocks. So this Submariner was the right choice to wear on this hike. It could be the perfect one watch collection, and it's one of the best watch decisions I've ever made. No regrets. I had no way of knowing that a new ceramic version would be coming out soon after this, but I was able to get this brand new 5-digit Submariner, and it has that more streamlined case design, a lighter bracelet, and a better fit on my wrist with the smaller profile.